Howdy, Beefalo, Bart here, and welcome. As the title suggests, we're going to create a quick and simple health bar that works. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and got a blank project. I'm going to add in third person. You know, it doesn't have to be third person. You could add third person. You could add to whatever you want. You can do it rolling, flying, whatever. I'm actually going to add it to just to be a little bit on different side first person. Why not? Okay, so with that added in here, let's go to first person map. And we can hit play. It's interesting how it used to show that a projectile, now it doesn't. Okay, so we want a health bar. And we're going to put it in the, whatever, let's put it in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, so we have our blueprint, first-person character. It doesn't matter if you're doing first person or third person, does not matter. I'm going to close that, and close that. And got all this lovely stuff here. We don't need to worry about any of this. We got weapon range, damage, all this cool stuff. We're going to add in a variable, and we're going to call this health. And we're going to make this a float. And if you're doing something in multiplayer, which you're not going to be using first person if you are, but you'd select it as replicated. Compile and save. Okay, so we have our health, and that's cool. The next thing, editor preferences, because it's going to piss me off. Main window. Loading and saving. No autosave. Alright. So, I didn't change anything to that map. Eat me. So, let's go ahead and create a new folder. I'm going to call it widgets. And inside here, we're going to create a user interface widget blueprint. Let's just call this our bars _W. Or we'll call this our HUD _widget. Whatever you want to call it. Upper right hand corner, we want it to be there. What we're going to need is a progress bar, and I'm just going to grab it. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab in an image. I'll show you why here in just a second. Image. Anchor it to top right. And what I want to do here is create a backdrop for our bars to go in. And I'm going to go to color and opacity. Go to opacity 0.5 so we can see through it. Compost and save. We'll change the image name to background. And then we can go ahead and add a progress bar on top of that. But before we drop it on here, let's go back to our background and set the Z order to -5. So it's going to always be behind whatever else we put in here. So now we put this in here and position it, size it, whatever we want. And I'm going to rename it to health bar. Fill color and opacity. We want red. So we're going to do 1 tab 0 and 0, and that is good. Make sure to go ahead and just drag that up here in case we ever need that color again. So now our percentage, we can scroll up and down. Okay. Compile and save. And in our first person, we need to find our begin play. If we don't have one, we can add one. Alright, so let's do that. Let's do event begin play. And the first thing I'm going to want to do here is set input to game mode only. And we want to get player controller. And then we want to set show mouse cursor to false. Then we want to create widget. The widget we want is the HUD widget. From our get player controller, let's connect that in there. And let's add to viewport. And that's it. So if we hit play, we can see that we have it in the upper right hand corner, but we didn't anchor this to upper right hand corner. So now we can see we've got our health bar up there. Our image is a little bit too big for it, but that's no problem. We can now just come back over to here and rescale that, so it's just covering that only. Alright, so back in our first person character, our health, let's set that to 100. Compile and save. Now, here's something you can think of. Weapon damage is set to 500,000. We're not going to get into that. And taking damage or whatever else. Right now we just want to go ahead and get the bar set up. And this is on our begin play. It draws our widget. Everything's good to go. And let's do this as begin play. We know what our health is. So we know that right now we're seeing it as not all the way full. That's not our full health. That's not our correct health. So we go back to our widget, and we got all this stuff here. Go to our graph, and we do that. Get rid of everything. Health bar. So as we look at this, our percentage, right here, percent. We want to create a binding. So I click on bind and create binding. And I want to give it a name other than just get health bar %0. So go up here, get health for bar. Alright, so we want to cast to our first person character. Get player character. Then what we want to do here is get health. Now if we get our health and plug it in here, we want to make sure that we get the right value to go in here. So I'm going to do this, and float divided by float. We're going to put 100 in here because we're going from percentage of 0 to 100. Then we're going to plug this in here. So now if we go in here and hit play, our health bar is at 100%. We know that it's reading what the correct value is. So let's test that. Otherwise we're done in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go over here, content, folder, gadget, new blueprint, actor, pane, _pad. And what I want to do is add a component of a cube, change its height to 0.1. Add another component of a box collision. Go to our event graph, delete everything here, right click, add event on component begin overlap. We want to drag from other actor and cast to player, first person character. So our first person character, when we walk over it, we want something to happen. If we look at our box, let's actually make it the correct size. 1.5 by 1.5, and let's drag it up to here. So when our first person character goes over there, we want to get our health, and we want to set our health. What we're going to do is do our float minus float, and we'll do 25. So anytime we walk across this pane pad, we're going to subtract 25 health. So let's drag a pane pad in here. And there we go. We just subtracted, and it is now setting our health. It's not killing us because we have nothing here. So we know that our health bar works correctly. If you wanted to not do 25, you could also do random float in range. And let's be weird, and let's do between 5 and 25. Now it's going to do random amounts of damage. So if we come over here, oh, we lost health, oh, we lost health, and more health, and more health, and more health. Now we're dead. So our pane pad works. That's great. Our HUD is working perfectly. That's great. And we'll spawn projectile. Deal with impact. Okay. So let's come down here and event any damage, because we don't want event ticks. Damage. Whatever. On event any damage, we want to first off get our health. And we want to float. We want to ask, is our health less than or equal to 0? Get a branch node, connect that in there. So we're going to do a check. Whenever we get damage of any type, we want it to run a check here. And we want to check to see if our health is equal to 0. And what is your location? Okay. Well, let's create let's see here. Here's our character. You know, it's if it is true, set actor location. Zero 500. So we just want something to happen, and then after that, we want to set our health back to 100. You could also create another variable called max health. I don't, because if I want to have a power up later on that will allow me to go over, like a booster shot or something like that. So we hit play. Lovely. Oh, we're taking damage. And we're taking damage. And it didn't work. So, we're checking our health, getting it, seeing if it's equal to 0. event any damage. Probably need to go back into our gadget. Paint pad. Apply damage. Okay. You want to like catch up here? Thank you. Temporarily, we're going to delete that stuff. Damaged actor. Connect that. Base damage. Then we could do same thing we did before, but I'm just going to change that to 25. You could set it up to be a random or whatever else you want. We want it to apply damage this way. So let's see what happens if we do it now. It's not going to show anything because we are telling it to, let's see. Let's get health. We want to set health. To there. No. Our health, which now we go float minus float. Connect that to there. That to there. So we're still taking that number down. There we go. There we go. And threw it back. And it didn't quite work 100%. Alright, so yeah, that's going to get you there anyway. It all works. To work a little bit more precise, you could probably add in this into the paint pad. We just needed something temporarily just to show us losing health. So that's good enough. Save that, close that. And same thing if we wanted to add in something to regenerate our health, or if we wanted to regen health automatically, we could always go back to our first-person character. And unfortunately, I can't think of any way of doing this right now without doing event tick. So let's do let's see, branch. We want to get our health. We want to do a float is less than 100. So if our health is less than 100, we want to do something. Let's, I hate doing an event tick. Let's actually add in a delay here. No, we really can't. So add in a... Now we want to set our health. Set health to our get health. float plus float. Let's add in 5 health. Then let's add in a delay. And we'll make that 2 seconds, whatever. So the delay then, yeah, I hate doing this method right here, where you can increase it by just over time. So let's just do a gadget. We'll do new blueprint, actor, heal pad, and again we'll add in a cube, change it to 0.1, add component of a box collision, and we'll change its size to 1.5 by 1.5 and raise that up. Compost, save, event graph, delete this stuff, right click, on component, begin overlap. From other actor, cast to player, shit. I'm used to doing player underscore base, which is what I use for my character. I want to cast to first person character. So we only want this to be affected by a first person character. And we want to get health. And we want to check our health. So we can do float. We want to see that it's less than 100, because you don't want to give them health if you don't need it, right? Branch. So if our health is less than 100, then we can do our stuff. So we'll do another get health. And another set health. Connect that to true. And we can do another check here also. Set our health to, actually we need to do float plus float. And we need to plug this value in here. We're going to give us 25 health. Then we're going to do another branch node. We need to ask from here, float is greater than 100. So if we give ourselves health, and it takes us above 100, then what we want to do here is come back over here, set health to 100. All right, so that should take care of that. And we want our heal pad. Let's put it over here. Let's go over here. This is our heal pad. It's not doing anything. So let's go over here. Lost health, gained health, and gained health. Super simple. When we kill ourselves, then we get thrown back over here, but we don't get put back to full health for some reason. He set health to 100. It's right there. Yeah, whatever. So that's that. We have a working health bar. Just takes a few minutes. Throw in a couple of test features so we can make sure that everything's working. We can see our health bar updates. You can heal back, and it reads. So there we go. A working health bar and a way to test it. All right. That's that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.